So I've returned back to Australia, but I do plan on going back to the country that I was in, or maybe to another country. What do I have to keep in mind or consider?
There's a couple of things here. If you are only going back to Australia for a temporary short stay, and we've seen that quite common at the moment with COVID-19, people have been stuck in Australia, can't travel, then that may not in fact change your residency. So you need to look and say, well, what is the action going on? If you think you're going back for a couple of years, and if you imagine the tax office is usually considering 2 years to be the indicative amount. That's what they consider to be permanent intent. So if you were going to be in Australia for 2 or more years and then think you might go back overseas, there are issues that you need to consider, such as you'll have to have the valuation of your assets, coming into the country, and then you have to do a valuation going out, and you may be subject to tax on the difference and the growth during that period. So you certainly want to consider that if that's going to be, a potential, because you need to be aware of what that tax implication may be, because it could be a nasty surprise on the way out. Now, if that is too high, you can defer that tax by leaving the asset as taxable rather than paying on the way out. However, that often is more disadvantageous because it is open-ended. And if you end up staying overseas for a prolonged period of time, you could end up paying a lot more tax on the future growth than you would have if you had paid the tax on departure. So you really need to get some specialist advice on that, because it's a broader issue, and depending on the asset type you have, etc.